time, those pings in my ear tell me that we have our next run ready to go as we have Golden Sun here with Leggy Starscream. Let's take it away.
Hey, love, how you doing?
Good. I'm ready to play TFT for 3 hours. I know they said Golden Sun, but actually what's going to happen is we're going to show you this. We're going to go, this randomizer is not for you, though. And instead, we're going to go play Double Up for 3 hours to entertain you.
Love,
So,
I don't want a lost streak for 3 hours.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's why you have me on the team. Because I'm going to go Bard 3 and complain about it every time, but we'll never lose.
But despite Debbie being a bit of a prat,
Why?
hi all.
Hi.
We're playing some Golden Sun Randomizer, and thank you all for your generous donations towards the naming incentives, but we're not going to need those yet. Because, unlike all of the other wonderfully talented people here in this marathon, I've never played this rando before. I have no idea what I'm doing.
It's like my life.
But that's the point. Like, the point of this showcase, not a run, a showcase, is to show off, like, what approaching a new randomizer looks like. You know, if you're someone who heard about a game, who, you know, you're like, dang, that rando looks really cool. I have no idea how to get started with it. Well, that's kind of why I brought, you know, myself, a decent multi-game rando player, and Demarine, a award-winning multi-game rando player, to talk about how to get started with a new game, how to, you know, just approach a new rando in general.
Wait, am I award-winning? I finished like top 16 in like one tournament or something, and you're like good at it or something.
Multiple tournaments, love. Don't sell yourself short.
Whatever.
So, the first thing you need to think about when you're starting a new randomizer is the flags. So here is the application for Golden Sun Randomizer. I've picked out some flags based entirely on vibes. But Debbie, you've seen this list before, right? You know what's going on here.
Yeah, so we've got an encounter toggle option. We've got shuffled gins. We've got shuffled enemies. We've got shuffled summons. We're just gonna mess with everything, aren't we? Like.
Yeah, like. I've played a number of randomizers before, so I kind of have a sense of how some of these flags are going to work. I also read the GitHub, so I know how some of these flags work. And there's some really nice tooltips down at the bottom for how some of these things work. For instance, most of the stat randomization is between plus or minus 20% of the baseline. So it's not like a full shuffle, but it adds some nice variance.
We love variance. Why we're here.
You also have logic to prevent some just super rude enemies from just completely hardwalling you with the randomized move pools. So that's nice. But encounter toggles are really nice. You see these a lot in RPG randomizers of all kinds. FF4 Free Enterprise just has enemies disabled. FF1 leaves them on, but it's also kind of a very different game. Dragon Warrior Randomizer has Repel and Fairy Water. FF6 Worlds Collide has the Moogle Charm, equipable by anyone. You know, it's a fairly standard flag across randomizers.
Yeah.
I'm also very familiar with the base game, so I'm going to be leveraging a lot of my vanilla knowledge here to go into things. But for the most part, I would argue this is kind of a fairly bog standard flag set. The only thing of note that I don't have a good sense of is I didn't upgrade the money or XP from enemies. But that's just because I've never played this randomizer before. I don't know where I want that to fall, you know. Is baseline golden XP good enough? Do I need to set it to ×2 or ×4? Frankly, I don't want to set it too high because, you know, I'm going to be here for a while. But, you know, if we get into it and it starts feeling a little grindy or a little unfun, I might just roll a new seed and tune some of these flags a bit and see how it goes. Again, this is an exploration. This is a understanding how to approach this game.
A lot of it does come down to the great balancing of how much vanilla knowledge you want to matter versus how much wild things you want to have happen. And also just, leveling up. Almost always in RPG randomizers, like, you know, starting at just baseline money and experience is a little rough, but I could be wrong about that, right? Like, this game could be very, very lenient on that.
Yeah, and like, I've learned the speedrun for this game, and since, you know, that's able to finish the game at a super low level, I figure, you know, I might get lucky. The other big thing that I've got on here is randomized key items. So, I'm not entirely sure what the logic is for key item shuffle in this game. So that's going to be one of the other things we're going to want to pay attention to and learn. I know where a lot of the key items are, but I don't know if that makes them, you know, shuffled amongst themselves or just where in the world they could be. Let me just double check the GitHub page real quick, just to have a sense if they say anything. Got it. They are shuffled amongst themselves. The game is beatable once you have completed Venus Lighthouse and have the Black Orb. And then there is one of a selection of difficult bosses that is in the pool that will have a key item drop. So, let me switch over the Discord share because I was showing off the randomizer itself to Demi. And hey, CS Radical, I need names.
Alrighty, so let me do a quick refresh here. We got some donos in, but those seem to have all gone to Time Spinner. So, what are we looking for? Isaac first?
Yep.
We have MJ, capital M, capital J.
There is the M, there is the J. What do we have for Garrett?
For Garrett, we have Bob. Capital B, small O-B.
Bob. What do we have next? Ivan.
Ivan, we have Ruby with R, capital R-U-B-I.
R-U-B-I. And then finally, Mia.
It is cute, capital C-U-T-E.
All right. So I think time starts when I hit confirm the name there, but we'll count it down from the end of this cutscene. Just because I wasn't sure if there was a confirmation or anything in the rando.
Man, I've never played this game before. What am I looking at? Why is there a cutscene here?
So this is the cutscene that normally happens at the end of the tutorial segment. And it's just being sped through without any of the text boxes being rendered as a quality of life feature.
Ah, so they could have done better, but they did what they could.
We got an empty bottle. That's actually really good.
Why is that really good?
Farewell. Goodbye to your graveyard, love.
I'm leaving. Bye. I'm done. I'm out.
So the empty bottle is a key item that is used if we open up the world map. So as we go through the game, we'll eventually need to go up to this top area up here. And it's kind of an out-of-the-way location. It's kind of rough to backtrack to. And you need to use the empty bottle up here to unlock a check down in this area over here.
Got it.
So it prevents backtracking. That's some of that, you know, vanilla knowledge coming into play. Thankfully, we get to skip the cutscene here. And we get our first Jin. So for the... Lamau.
What?
So, let's talk about this game's systems. First and foremost, this is a classic turn-based JRPG. I give my characters commands and they do things. Oh nice, we got growth for free. We have basic attack, which does attack. We have synergy, which is magic. It is just your magic casting. And then we have this game's neat mechanic, which are Jin. Jin are these little, you know, critters who join our party. If you equip them, you get stats. But you can then unleash them in battle through this menu to use a specific effect. And then, when you have them on standby, you can summon with them. And normally, the different summons I had there require different Jin of different elements to be able to pull off. But, since we have the element shuffle on, it did some different things. We also have Avoid here, but that's our encounter toggle we were talking about. I'm not going to toggle that yet, just because experience good here, especially in the early game. This is another vanilla cutscene that needs to play.
If that's the case, do we have time for a couple of donations?
Yep.
Alrighty, so we have $25 from Anonymous that just says, y'all are cute. And then we also have $10 from One Free Fits saying, levels? Who needs levels? Chat, help me get that level 10 cap for the upcoming Time Spinner run. Thank you so much to both.
So when's Balatro?
Whenever you want to play Balatro, love.
Doesn't fit in the shuffler.
Skill issue.
I mean, it could be 4 hours of me playing Balatro. Just comment through the stream. I'm sure nobody would mind, right?
I mean, roguelikes are randomizers.
Are they?
Well, no, randomizers are roguelikes.
Are they?
Yeah. Trust me, I'm a doctor. So we're going through the opening bit of this game. I don't know how much they've changed up in this. I think all of the items in boxes are what you'd expect, but I also don't remember where all of them are. So we're just gonna click on a lot of boxes. This, of course, is our next character we're adding to the party. Again, a little bit of vanilla knowledge. Kinda know where to go for a lot of these cutscenes and stuff. I'm noticing the opening of this game feels kind of linear, especially because you want to go to where your other two party members are. And Ivan being here means that those locations are probably more vanilla than not.
Fair. Use your magic brain powers to push the box.
Mm-hmm. And Ivan also gates the exit to this area of the game in vanilla. So we kind of have to go out of our way to pick up Ruby here. Alright, what do you have? You've just got your vanilla powers, okay. So with that, we come back down to the inn. This is a weird little mini game that we have to do as part of a normal story progression. Ideally, in a randomizer, there's a couple of different ways you can handle things like this. Like, hypothetically, if the rando dev really wanted to and really wanted to get deep into the assembly code, you could probably cut this whole segment out and just, once you pick up Ivan, set the flag that finishes this. But also, it's fun doing some of these weird little vanilla things. And so that's kind of an interesting philosophical thing when it comes to randomizers that I'm noticing this game is doing. It's really keeping a lot of that vanilla playthrough experience in play while also adding in the little bit of randomization on top of it. You see this a lot in, there's two main genres of RPG randomizers I found. There's open world, and then there's just
linear upgraders.
Yeah, linear with variance. So the difference between your Worlds Collide and your Beyond Chaos, if you're familiar with the FF6 randomizer space. And since Golden Sun in particular, you do really want to pick up all your characters because, action economy. It's kind of important.
Characters are good, actually. They make you do more things.
Mm-hmm. So I imagine this will keep with the sort of linear pattern, at least until we get our fourth character, and then, because we do have this key item randomization in play, I imagine things might start branching out a little bit. But yeah, boss fight.
Guys with knives.
Yep, this unleashes Scorch, which is very unhelpful information for me. But that just does a bunch of damage. Okay. I did randomize the Jin abilities, but the fact that it didn't tell me what that ability was, it's something I could go sit down and look up what that ability does, but that doesn't really feel worth it.
Looking stuff up is a common tradition if you're looking to get good at something.
Yeah. And, there's a balance between, trying to get information immediately versus play through, feel things out, try to understand things. There's that balance between starting off learning, trying to get a sense of the vibes, and then putting in, the strong bit of effort it takes to get good.
Have you considered getting good?
I have. Not in this one yet. We're gonna play around with our spells a bit. Take an absolute truckload of damage, jeez.
It's cool you didn't need those hit points anyway.
Well, I'm just grateful MJ here comes with a healing spell. But we did learn that Whirlwind, kinda weak. Ray hits like a truck, but also does not AoE.
Can't you see that from the iconography, love?
Well, I can see the AoE marker from the iconography. I can't see the damage.
Ah.
Let's see how growth does. Or not. We did get a sword, which is nice.
You got growth in a different way.
Yeah.
Gain the levels. Most important thing that one can do in an RPG.
Mm-hmm. And one of the neat things about Golden Sun as a game is the spells you pick up don't just give you more combat power, some of them actually have effects in the overworld. So there's a couple of important spells we'll need to pick up along the way. Growth is actually one of them. And in the vanilla game, growth is typically not accessible on one of your base classes. You have to equip cross-elemental Jin to be able to access it.
Does it make you bigger?
No, it makes plants bigger.
Ah, I see. Making plants bigger seems useful too.
Mm-hmm. It's a fertilizer spell. So yeah, we're just kind of sitting through the cutscene. At least we don't have to mash through text boxes. Very appreciative of that.
Text box matching! Wait, no.
All my homies hate mashing.
Yeah, no, mashing's bad, actually. Please, game designers, I do not need to mash text my hands. Also, speedrunners, let us have turbo, thanks.
Or devs, just implement turbo into your game.
Devs, I love my hands. I love my hands a lot.
I love your hands too. I love holding
Gay?
them.
Gay?
I think I'm allowed to be gay here.
Are you?
Well, you know, as one of the admins of this marathon, I'm going to say yes. And if the other admins want to fight me about it, well, that's on them.
What if they want to fight you about it?
Well, then, I'll win.
Yeah, fair.
Maybe that's an incentive for later.
What, fighting
The
me?
admin throwdown.
Yeah.
In the meantime, do you mind if I jump in while we're still waiting here to get a donation
Yeah.
in?
Oh yeah, hop in whenever, unless I'm like deep in the weeds of a topic combo.
Well, in the meantime, I do have a $40.90 donation from Fear on Burgundy saying, figured even the grand total out, great that Randomania is doing this. Mental health is something endured by many of us and often it goes undiagnosed. Thank you so much for that donation.
Yo, Ferran, thank you, thank you.
Oh, that's fun. We got Isaac has a bunch of stuff he can't equip. But Garrett can equip the sword. Okay. That's actually interesting. You know, we didn't start with starting equipment, we just started with the vanilla starting equipment.
Are you getting new equipment?
That's the dream.
Is it time for better pants?
Or at least a shirt.
Or at least a shirt.
In the meantime, we also do have an anonymous $50 donation, and with that, to go back to our incentives, that does complete the enemy randomizer for Time Spinner.
Let's
so
go!
We are now waiting for the level 10 cap to be filled, which is currently at $25.90 of $100. So if we want to see the levels being stopped, I know that's kind of reverse logic for a lot of randomizers that we do, especially looking at a JRPG one, but hey, who needs levels? So if we want to see a cap of 10, we need another, oh god, don't make me do math on a Friday, $74.10 to get that done. So let's get working on that.
Go team.
Oh god. So, while we were talking, my eyes popped out of my skull when I saw how much stats the longsword was giving me.
How many stats were the longswords giving you?
12 attack and 14 agility?
I assume that's a lot of stats.
That is a lot of stats. Agility in this game the way that turn order works is it just goes highest agility to lowest agility.
Right.
So, yeah, getting a pile of agility, kinda okay.
We love going first. That makes things predictable, and that's good.
Mm-hmm. Don't mind me checking the map, remembering where the hell to go. And then sometimes we just get ambushed.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang, we love going first. That is how that works, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
And there's the cave I need to go to, because that takes me to the next area. And here we can once again use move. Pull the log down. We have to use... Let's hit avoid now. Just for safety. We will set move here. We have to try to move this to do the next cutscene trigger. And this is the part where Ivan joins up. So, Love,
Yeah.
how you feeling about the butt rock?
Butt Rock is great. It is important to note that music for this was done by Motoi Sakuraba, the greatest RPG composer of all time.
Donate
Like
if you
better-
want to argue.
Donate if you want to. Right, hot take hour. Donate with hot takes. Donate if you want to fight me. If you want to fight me about that, like, go ham, I guess. But like, you know, he did so many so many different soundtracks for the Tales games. Did Star Ocean. Did Golden Sun. He's much more butt rock than like classical composition, like a like a number 2 like Uematsu or like a number 3 like Shimomura. But you know, number 1. Motoi Sakuraba.
You really are just trying to fish for engagement with that take, aren't you?
Me, I would never.
Uh-huh.
What makes you
First
think
of
I'm?
all,
What makes you think
how
I'm trying to
dare
fish
you.
for engagement? How
how
dare I?
dare
What?
you leave out my boy Yasunori Mitsuda?
He's a hack.
Chat?
Never gonna get canceled this marathon. Let's
Yeah.
go. Fight me, but he's like number 5.
Chat, I need you.
Puzzles with your move spell.
Yep.
Real hot take hours though.
That's just a lucky medal. I really should have shuffled the similar basic items. I don't know why it says similar. I don't know what that means. So, I didn't set that flag. But I guess it, shuffles pieces of equipment amongst itself? I don't
Probably.
know.
Can't believe-
It struck me as kind of weird, so I didn't set it because I didn't understand what it did.
I can't believe chat is very angry at me now. What have I done to make chat very angry at me?
Chat wants to know if that is Game Boy reading the donations. The answer is no. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves for those who might not know who you are?
Hi, my name is CS Radical. I am unfortunately the voice that you were stuck with for the rest of this run, so I still stand by what I said. Yasunori Mitsuda for the win.
Yeah, fair. Everyone's allowed to like things they like.
Hey!
Hey, Stella.
Yeah?
Bob's dead.
Can't believe Bob's freaking dead.
Usually saying that Uematsu is not the greatest RPG composer of all time is enough to get me in trouble.
We are also not outspeeding this fight, which is rough, even with our upgraded speed. What? What?
Destroyed.
Yeah, okay, that's a reset. We'll come back for that one. I did not realize that Unleashed Flint is another Jin attack. So, yeah! That
Yeah.
God, that was... I was not ready for that. I love it, though. That was so cool.
Leggy, that was so cool, dies.
No, no, no. Get it right. Leggy dies. That was so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, this game does have a little bit of a puzzler aspect to it. Luckily, I just know where all the puzzles are, for the most part. If we get deep into this game, I will start not knowing where they are, because we skip a lot of it in the speedrun. Haha.
Yeah, you don't have the true vanilla knowledge.
True. One day, I will eventually learn how to run Rando. Or Hundo. We got
Dead.
Fizz. Unleashes Plywell. Interesting. Okay. So Jin just get random effects.
We don't even know what they are until we find them. That's very random.
Yeah. Like, I was expecting them to shuffle amongst themselves and just, you know, say, have the description of another Jin's ability, but instead it just gives me the name of the Jin, or it could be a spell, which is wild to me. You cannot get the Almighty Longsword. You can get a Broadsword, though, and damn.
Heavy mace. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. These numbers are... But
It's
for
wild.
now...
It's wild because this always looks like the shop from Shining Force 2.
Hey,
Like,
love?
It's got the same vibe. Why? What's up?
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yeah.
Who made Shining Force 2?
Shining Force 2 is a tactical RPG for the Mega Drive Genesis console developed by Sonic Software Planning.
Really?
Sega. Yeah.
I thought
It's
Camelot did all the Shining Force games.
It's Camelot. It's the other name for Camelot.
Got it. Yeah. Because, yeah, this is... For those keeping score, this is also a Camelot game.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I saw this game, I immediately thought, wow, this looks like Mario Kart or Mario Golf, but the JRPG version.
Game giving you real Mario RPG or Mario Golf vibes, says person who's only played Mario Golf.
Okay, we're gonna buy some armor for Ivan. Okay. I'm gonna buy some armor for Garrett because, again, not dying seems important.
we're opposed to pants, but you know, you do what you gotta do in this world, I guess.
And those aren't even pants, they're shirts.
What's the difference between a pants and a shirt anyway in an RPG, really?
Different equip slot. Next question.
What is the airspeed of an unladen swallow? Look, Cubs, we're not talking about Beyond the Beyond today. No, I ain't got time for Beyond the Beyond.
But love, we have to go even further beyond. Alright. So we have upgraded our gear.
Yeah, gear. We love gear.
We're gonna dip over this way because I know things because I've played this vanilla. Ha ha ha. Which is something I'm going to keep reminding folks. Or turn a void off because I do want a little bit of XP through here. Interesting. The barrier wasn't there. Huh. Was not expecting that. That is a change from vanilla. Ooh, Rainbow Kill. Rainbow Kill is a mechanic where if you hit someone with a super effective Jin, they glow rainbow for a bit and you get bonus XP. It's used in the speedrun a fair bit. Alright. We got another cutscene, so if we have any other things to share with folks.
You know, I may have something here. From no one in particular. Cubs Rule 21. Sorry, that escaped me there. Donates $75 saying, "Hey Demi, what are your feelings on Beyond the Beyond?" As a side note, that did also hit our level 10 cap for time spinners, so those incentives out of the way. But the question still remains, Demi.
Beyond the Beyond is a really interesting attempt to do some very neat things with the first-person dungeon dive design concept, but that doesn't make it a good game. It just makes it a game that exists. It's so rough. Like, it's just the systems in that game are they're just rough.
It's funny too, because as soon as that was being mentioned, I'm like, I've never heard of this before. PlayStation 1 game. I've never come across that one.
Just, it tries so hard. It wants to be good so badly.
Also, by the way, I love frame rate encoding because you are seeing the solid shields, but those are actually supposed to be flickering on and off every frame to look translucent.
Wild.
Because I think I'm streaming in 30 FPS. You're not seeing it. It's not even emulator things. It's frame rate for the stream things.
Frame rate limitation!
Woo!
So that we can stream easily because, you know...
Yeah.
Bandwidth.
I don't want to explode the restream computers.
That would be cool, actually. Can you explode the restream computers?
I think Tybalt would have several words for me.
Would they be, hell yeah, you exploded the stream computer?
No.
Are you sure?
Barely.
They may be littered there in somewhere amongst a bunch of other words.
Words that we can't say on stream.
Nope. But you know what I can say on stream? We have new incentives open now. So we have Chrono Trigger coming up later today. We have $200 incentives for them. We have a gear and item shuffle that shuffles, well, all the gear and items for the run, and a tech damage shuffle, which will randomize the strength of each tech in Chrono Trigger. So if you want to see some extra additives onto that game, we have $100 incentives for each of those.
Let's actually play around a bit. So that's... Because we have access to this off-class Jin, I want to see what I would get from it on my various characters. Okay. That's actually interesting. Getting a massive attack boost. Losing access to Cure is rough, though. But I suppose the Jin does have a heal on it. So let's do that. Let's set this. That's just... Yeah, I like this. This feels like a good format. Let's see how Bolt does. Decent damage. Okay. Oh, baby. I do love how the monsters have the ability to use Jin effects. That's great. This is awesome. This is fine.
Everything's gonna be okay, we promise, chat.
God, this rando is so cool.
Please note if Stella dies, you do not get your money back.
Wait, we're putting money on things? Come up here. Alright, what does Ember have? I sure hope they do. God, okay. Now's the point where I'm just like, okay, what does Ember do? Oh. Ember gives you back MP. So that's actually really useful.
Ah, that's actually super good.
Yeah. Also, just realized I forgot to do something when I started this run up. Oh, you'll see. Don't worry about it for now.
Are you butt rocking in your chair?
Oh, I am butt rocking so hard right now. You have no idea.
I hope so.
We are gonna unleash Ember here just to get the MP restoration. And it's not a lot of MP back, but it's not nothing. So we're gonna open up this menu, go to change settings, and turn matches speed on to fast.
Stella.
Yeah?
Nothing.
No, go on. I'm curious.
No.
What were you gonna say?
No. Nothing. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Uh-huh.
I have nothing to say.
That explains why all my timings were off.
You know what they say, if you don't have something nice to say, tell your partner they're wonderful and hope that you get away with it. Hi, Stella, I love you.
Hey, I love you. You're wonderful. Hi, Natara. I love you.
Natara mentioned!
Brr, 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 brr. Natara should always be mentioned. Also worth noting, I've picked up a mint and an apple, which offer some nice stat ups. We can't go up there yet. The forest icon we can see on the map. Because... guess what we don't have yet? That's right. It's that bottled water we were talking about earlier. Amazing.
That's the other thing is that Jin summons are all big AoEs that make their damage go up too, huh?
Yep. For the particular element of the summon itself. But at this point, I think we're all mostly level 4. Gonna not worry about popping in there to reset threat because we got threat anyway.
Sure,
I love video games.
And video games love you.
Do they though?
Yeah, of course they do.
Are you video games?
Sure. I can be for
Hey.
you. For you, I can be video games.
Well, I love video games too, so...
See, everything's gonna be alright.
yeah, I am gonna pop in here real quick. We're gonna stop at the inn. Which is slow, but hey, you know, this is a rando and I'm learning. And everything's wacky, so I don't understand what's going on. So, better to be safe than sorry. I think there's an argument to going back and trying the fight that cost me that death earlier. Especially because I can turn off random encounters for a hot minute. Also, chat's being adorable. I don't know if you're watching, love.
Are they being adorable?
Yep. Turbo cuties.
Go team.
Oh, I see. I have to redo some of the puzzling because I forget you have to do that if you come back in here. Haha. Just how often I come back here. Fist of the North Star voice. You are already cute. I figured that one would be locked in. Right Wait, no, that's... Yeah, no, that's the right way. Hi, I'm getting lost in this dungeon. Don't mind me.
Yep.
Alright, we're gonna try this one again. I get 3 save slots, I'm gonna use all of them. That's one of the things I've learned from Free Enterprise, use all of your save slots. So we want you to attack. We want to hit you with fire. And... I think I want to keep you... I want to save Scorch for towards the end of the fight, but I also don't know how much HP this fight has, so we're just gonna bolt. Fire. And we want to heal up Bob. Or not. We're gonna call... Okay. So we're gonna have to come back here after we get Mia. Because that is just kicking my butt 3 ways to Sunday.
You're just dead again. You did it. You died. They'll never find your body.
Rat. Wait, getting a little bit of XP along the way. Party members don't gain XP while they're not in your party.
Annoying.
But also you can customize what level your different party members start at.
You could make them all start at level 99.
Yes. But where's the fun of that?
I don't know. That could be fun.
I mean, it could be.
Like I don't know what's fun for everyone.
Yeah.
Starting at level 99 might appeal to some people.
Yeah.
We just want to wander around the game and, you know, figure it out,
murder.
like, learn the maps and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, like, I like the challenge of combat, so that's where you get my off-the-cuff reaction to that particular idea.
There's options for everybody. Sometimes that option
Exactly.
is starting at level 99. It'll make Leggy a little sad, but what do you care?
It won't even make me sad. You have fun. You do what you want. You play games the way that gives you joy. And I might not play it that way, because I might not enjoy it that way. I don't think I'm allowed to key smash on stream.
Yes, you are. You do what you gotta do, love. No one is gonna think less of you. And if they do, I'll punch them with my mind. Not my hands.
Mind punch!
My hands are spindly and weak, and I would hurt myself.
Wow, Cubs. But I also know that there is a box up here. It's a very good casual item. The speedrun doesn't get this, though. That is a absolute pile of stats, goddamn. I don't want to lose the agility, but I think just the raw physical power is worth it. The way that this randomizer is distributing stats across equipment is actually making equipment decisions interesting, and I am here for this. Yep. So that is a puzzle I can't solve right now. But I can duck back this way. This probably doesn't actually get me to... Yup. Very sad. Okay. Oh, I can just open it from behind. Okay, never mind. I'm a fool. Wait, no, that's Dragon Warrior. My bad. But yeah, I think the next time I play this, I want to shuffle items in boxes to make looting more interesting. I'm still not sure what similar means in the shuffle similar basic items, but it would be interesting to find out. Let's see if they kept this bug in. Because if you go to move the statue, you can just choose not to. The game thinks it still moved, and the statue loses its... and the snowman loses his hat.
My hat.
And we come back here, we get another friend.
This friend doesn't try to kill us, though, right?
Nope. Alright, what's Spritz do? Unleashes Fizz! Thanks, game! Oh, that gives Ivan his... Ah, yes! We get another healing spell! Let's go. We need to pop in here for plot reasons, talk to you. Hop in here, which has a cutscene, and the empty bottle is usually in that chest back there in vanilla, so we're about to get our next key item.
Yay!
I did check to see if there was a tracker for this. There doesn't seem to be.
Oh no.
So, we're just playing trackerless.
Can't play randomizers without trackers for quite some time.
Douse drop, okay. That gives us access to the spell Douse, which just makes water. I am gonna pop in here. Right, they're all sick. We can't do anything until we beat the dungeon in the shops here.
So we're gonna go to this tower,
Yep. Welcome to the Mercury Lighthouse.
home of the Whopper.
Love, you know that's the Mars Lighthouse. Yeah, and I think we want to shuffle Synergy next time, which is the magic spells we get. Because right now, we're getting vanilla magic on our characters, which is interesting. And because of the way that... Actually, maybe we keep it like this so that it's predictable based off of which combinations of Jin you get, but because we're shuffling the Jin around, we don't know which classes we'll have access to. Like, I'm thinking about this from, like, a flag set design based off of the options that I did pick.
How to make things random enough while they to stay interesting, but not so random that the game can be exceedingly difficult.
Or just exceedingly incomprehensible. And, like, do you want to do your whole standard conversation about, like, vanilla knowledge versus randomization?
Alright. Y'all know I've been around the randomizer community for like 6 years now, and you've probably heard the spiel before. But here we are. We're here, we're bored. We don't know what the hell is going on in this game because we've never played Golden Sun. Which leads to the concept of how much randomization do you really want in your randomizer? right? The idea of the randomizer, and this doubly goes for competitive randomizer scenes where you're trying to race the randomizer, right? Is that how important is vanilla knowledge to the game itself? Obviously, if there's too much vanilla knowledge, then you haven't really randomized the game enough for it to be interesting, right? You know, you haven't deviated enough from what is otherwise the vanilla speedrun. And that's fine. But may not be what you want. On the flip side of the coin, as you get more randomness, right, the value of your vanilla knowledge starts to go up at first, right? It arcs upward because, well, vanilla knowledge becomes important because the things that are unchanged become core to the gameplay, while understanding to work with the things that have changed is really important. And also, as you up the amount of randomness, you reach a point where the game reaches the concept that, you know, that there's enough randomness that execution is one part of the game and dealing with the randomness is another, and you get that neat balance between the two, right? So that, you know, quote-unquote weaker players, right, people who maybe have played a little bit less, have a chance to compete with people who've played more, and so on and so forth. I mean, I think Dragon Warrior in 2020 reached a really good counterbalance there, and maybe has gone a little bit further in the randomness, which I think was good for the game, actually, when it was all said and done. But yeah, it took a little while for me to warm up too, and by a little while I mean 2 seats. And then you start getting more and more random and then you start getting more and more randomness where the game now starts becoming indistinguishable. You get things like, gonna talk about Final Fantasy randomizers. It's the core of my spiel usually because it's Final Fantasy randomizer. But you end up getting into the realm of too much randomness, right? You get into like Enemizer, right? Or you get into complete spell shuffle, where it's not just the spells that you know are in Final Fantasy are shuffled, but like all the spells are now mixed up, right? And they all do different things, and they do different things at different levels, and right, you add randomness for randomness' sake in an attempt to make the game different, which, you know, while it can be a noble attempt or a noble cause, you end up creating something that doesn't make sense. You end up making something that's not comprehensible to somebody who's played the vanilla game before, and you know, then you can just kind of go too far with it, and it's things that, while they seem like neat ideas, don't actually add anything to the gameplay, while also overcomplicating things. And you have to be really careful about that, because, you know, you want your games to obviously be like, because we're not vanilla speedrunners, we're not here to speedrun vanilla games. We're trying to hew away from that because we want to play a game that doesn't take us all day to play, right? You think about how long does the Golden Sun speedrun love?
Golden Sun speedrun, like 3-4 hours, maybe?
Right. We don't want to be here 6 hours playing a randomizer, right? I mean, you could, but right, the idea is also that the randomizer experience should be a compressed experience to a degree. You know, like when I sit down to play Z1R, right, I schedule out 90 minutes, maybe, you know, and like, yeah, it's a 30-minute speedrun, and so, you know, the game can take longer because items aren't where you expect them to be and whatnot, and that's kind of cool. But like, I don't want to schedule 3 hours to play Z1R. It's a long time. You know, like Z3R is kind of the same way, right? The speedrun's an hour and a half for, you know, a standard no major glitches run, you know, when you're really good at it. When you're like me and you're not really good at it, it's like 2 hours. But like when I play Z3R, I don't want to be here for 3.5 hours unless I'm playing some settings that are just like, that greatly ramp up the amount of randomness, right? And I know what I'm getting into. Right, but I want to have access to something that feels like it's going to be close to the vanilla game, or even in terms of RPGs, right, where leveling up is a big part of it, right? Like, I think about Worlds Collide. Yeah, Worlds Collide mentioned to go, right? One Free Fit's going to chime in 3, 2, I mean, hi. Right, where Worlds Collide, you could set it up that, you know, a vanilla speedrun of no major glitches Final Fantasy VI is nearly 7 hours when you're new. And maybe gets into this, you know, the low 6s to high 5s. I'll check what the world record is, which is like 530-ish. But like, you know, you can get through a Worlds Collide scene in 1 hour and 15 minutes, right? Where if it's a very long game, you can get a compressed experience. Where if it's a very short game, you can get a experience that's lengthened in an interesting way by the randomness that you choose. But when you go too far, right, you either get something that's not really distinguishable. An entrance shuffle is still distinguishable, like 4 hour Z3R runs are distinguishable because it's like, it's a lot of things like entrance shuffle and the like, and that's still distinguishable, and it's still an interesting game, right?
Yeah,
But,
it
like,
becomes a very different game though, where it entrance shuffle in a lot of cases introduces this notion of mapping and understanding like how to approach, the space of a game that is otherwise weird.
But you're still in the Z3R world. It still plays by Z3R rules. It's just that those rules are now
It's just you have
Those
to
rules are now
learn.
extended, right?
Yeah.
Right, like, Hidden Chaos doesn't add anything to the game, right? Like, it just makes you open boxes, right? Like... Right, like, it just makes you open other boxes, and that's fine, but there's other more interesting ways to open boxes, like, making loot more important or anything like that. There are interesting ways to make you open more boxes in an RPG, right? I need more loot to get through things, I need whatever. And then there are really less interesting ways to do it, like hiding the final boss in a treasure chest is uninteresting. Because it reduces, the need for vanilla knowledge other than needing to remember where the chests are in, like, Topher, which nobody remembers, right? Except for, I guess we know where the Masa chest is, and that's like, okay, great, so Chaos is just at the bottom, you one less fight, no big deal. Randomness for the sake of randomness is not great, right?
Yeah, and understanding where it becomes just randomness for the sake of randomness is, kind of a, frankly, bit of personal taste.
It's a difficult compliment, difficult skill for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Also, we got a really good summon that's usually a weapon proc on a piece of endgame gear. So I am just using that to do a boatload of fire damage.
Welcome to the other RPG randomizer problem, which is the spamming the best button you get versus interesting uses of the tools given you.
Which, this does become an interesting tool because it is single target. I know the boss of this dungeon is not weak to fire.
I mean, yeah, and also, I guess I am on Team All Nuke all the time. I used to run, I was for a while running Fighter Tri-Reds in competition because I could.
Look, red mages get hats. It's important.
And in a racing situation, you use the most powerful tools given you so you can go as fast as possible, but yeah.
Yep.
Like, I find that changing the casting magics is actually really interesting in FFR because, like, a lot of the weapons in that game, like, I guess, like, tier 2 magics are interesting in a way, right? They're just a tool to give a fighter a AoE type ability. But, like, again, there's interesting ways to do it, and there's not interesting ways to do it, It's an interesting way to make you want to open boxes.
Yep.
Right, is I can get this caster weapon that will save my run.
Yeah. And also, I'd argue that in FFR, a lot of the time, your big caster items aren't necessarily, like, overpowered. Because, you only get one of them.
Yeah, and it can only be held by one person at a time.
Yep. And, like, even this meltdown does 90 damage to a single target, but that's still less overall damage than my AoE buttons. Like, am I pressing my best buttons all the time? Yes. But, and do I even have the best buttons I could have right now? God, no.
Well, you might have the best buttons that you can have right now. You don't know how the randomizer is distributed stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, like...
I'm gonna be pedantic about this.
What the point I was trying to make was, I do not have the super turbo endgame gear yet. Having that unleash on a Jin is useful, but it's mitigated by just how often I can press that button.
Yes,
God, I forget how to do this dungeon legit. So we're gonna turn off encounters and start running around. Because, in the speedrun, We don't play this dungeon.
You just don't even go in here, huh?
Oh no, we go in here. And then we
drown.
Yep. We kind of skip to the end.
That doesn't work.
There we go.
But yeah, you're not around here like opening boxes or trying to find all the loot or do all the puzzles. You're just...
Yeah, normally when I'm in this dungeon in the speedrun, we are exit warping straight to the end.
We're getting in, we're getting the stuff, we're getting out.
In the meantime, just want to do a quick donation shout out. We got a $25 donation from Anonymous. That is also going to be going towards the gear and item shuffle for Chrono Trigger. So as a reminder to folks, we have $200 incentives for Chrono Trigger. Gear and item shuffle is now at $25 worth of that $100 donation incentive, and tech damage shuffle is still sitting at 0. So if you want to see both of those modifiers on, we need those donations in, but we got plenty of time.
I love item shuffling in randomizer games. I think messing with your equipment is one of the easiest and coolest ways in a lot of cases. Because not only do you get the ability to just have to completely think differently about how you build your characters and what gear is good, but you also have to consider the fact that there might be some just wild broken stuff that you would never be able to encounter in vanilla.
I mean, a lot of the older games with the randomizers is like, we found this weird code that otherwise doesn't exist in games, which rules.
Right? Luckily, the puzzles in this game aren't hard to remember how to do.
Everyone loves puzzles.
It's a puzzle.
Is it a puzzle?
Oh, sweet, I can dip around that way.
Statue, go in the hole. Thonk.
Wonk. But yeah, we'll see how equipped we are for the upcoming boss fight here in a bit. A lot of it's going to depend on what friend we find in the next area that has friends. Because there's another summon that we'll be picking up here in a moment. Well, another Jin at least. Right. This is that one. I'm not gonna worry about that box. Okay. Also, chat, donate now with which Jin is the cutest.
Can they even do that? Is that allowed?
Yes.
Wait, is
I
one
mean,
of these
idea,
cuter
and that means too, if you're gonna donate 4 times if it's all of them. You got to do that.
Yeah, like, I don't know which one of these is cutest.
If you have an opinion, I want to hear it. Because they're all adorable, and I want them all as plushies.
It'll never
That's
happen.
my take.
Is that your take? It'll never happen, sadly.
Yeah. Let's see how this works. Okay.
Oh, that's so far so good. So far you took a very small amount of damage.
Yeah, I'm not actually worried. This seems much easier than the last one. It seems much easier than the last one.
Welcome to the team, whoever you are.
You are... Smog. Not to be confused with... What does annihilation mean?
That sounds good. I think this could be... Stell, this could be good.
What? But smog, annihilation. Is this a climate change joke that we're not aware of?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Sun annihilation. What is... Oh, it's a spell.
Is it a good spell?
I mean, with a name like that.
That doesn't mean it's good. It could be Ultima from... You know, you got Ultima from Final Fantasy VI, which is Ultima, and you got Ultima from Final Fantasy II,
Oh,
which is hot garbage.
It is a ninja spell.
Sure it is.
Still, I can't say the line. Still, I'm sad.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sad. I'm sad now.
Just go for the other one. Go ninja, go ninja, go ninja, go.
I refuse.
No, it's attack-based, so I actually want to... that does lower things, but... That's gonna be very good over here. We'll just give you there. Yeah, I think that's a good mix.
You know, you bring that song to the mix though, Leggy, but I kind of prefer a donation.
It'll hit me!
Which, speaking of, we have opened a couple more incentives and bid wars for Final Fantasy VI. So we will have 2 of those coming up now. So we will have a bid war for whether or not we are going to save or kill Cid, and we will also have a $200 incentive open up if we're going to do the opera scene in that game. So if you want to see the opera, if you want to decide Cid's fate, those will be open now to you to also put your donations towards.
But we love Cid.
Which one?
Cid 7.
Good point.
Can't believe chat wants to kill Cid.
Defense contractor... Cid FF6.
Look, he has a change of heart in his year in isolation, thank you very much. I mean, yeah,
Look,
the emotional payoff, though.
Look, I'm unsurprised Natara is here for murder.
Oh, hey, we're at the end of the game.
Well, but we do
Yeah.
get the best song in the game.
It's always funny how the best song in a Motoi Sakuraba game is not one where the butt rocks so hard that your butt gets rocked, but it's always one of these sorts of, like, more instrumental, kind of, woodwindy type, type tracks.
We are going to
Sorry,
save the
everybody.
game here, because my butt might get rocked.
Sorry, everybody. Star Ocean 2, best song is Venerable Forest, followed by Kamikaze. But hey, y'all do you.
There's actually some interesting challenge modes you can set, including a solo Isaac.
That seems miserable, actually.
Look, there are 2 flag presets for this randomizer. They are called Iron Sun, named after Ironmon, which is a whole other challenge run for Pokemon that seems an exercise in frustration IMO. I've watched Skybills do it a bunch. I don't know how Skybills keeps playing that.
It takes a certain kind of mindset to be able to throw yourself at that over and over again. I do not have it.
Like, I have it to a certain extent. There's a reason I speedrun FF1. But Ironmon just takes it to a whole new level.
I mean, at least with Ironmon, most of your runs are dead in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
As opposed to, say, having your partner go, hey, remember when you're on PvP? 10 minutes into the chaos fight.
/ban Dummerine.
You can't do that! Well, you can, but you can't do that!
But I could.
Well, you could.
What is that actually? Interesting. Okay, so Plywell is going to be the emergency button. Garrett is right, gives mana back. You're probably just on the attack as well. Ivan's gonna be my main healer. But we can hit with a flash bolt. Here we definitely want to hit that for the defense drop. Or not. It's only 25%, so... yeah, I think we want to save that. Oh, what summons do we have access to? Okay, they're all water-based. Interesting. Yeah, I think the Jin summon requirement shuffle is probably not what I'm going to leave on for next time. It
seems brutal.
Yeah, like, if it shuffled them amongst the tier, that would be interesting, but the fact that it's like, okay, your tier 2 summons, 3 of them all require water, that... not my favorite flag. An interesting one, but not my favorite as it's currently implemented. Where are my other... do I only have the... yeah, okay, I only have the 2 water shit, and I don't want to use the other one, so we're not actually going to be summoning anything big for now. Okay. But it does make me do all this thinking, which is actually really cool. We are going to heal here. No, we're going to have you attack. We don't... right. We're going to have you summon. Attack. Here. And we'll just hit you with the Tundra. You keep curing. We're gonna try and fish for the Meltdown defense drop proc. Which might not even be a thing, I don't know. Let's just hit Smaug and see what happens. Not that I can summon off Jupiter, Jin. Rough. Oh, interesting. You gain power based off of the Jin used, not which summon you're casting. Wild. Okay. Yeah, so you're just kind of... stuck there, which is annoying. Yeah, like, I'm all for nerfing summoning in this game because summoning tends to be a bit over-centralizing as a mechanic in this game. It's
But
just
not being able to do it at all is a little disinteresting.
Yeah, like, nerfing summons is interesting because it also fundamentally nerfs Jin usage as anything other than stat sticks in general, which does make them more interesting. But being completely locked out of a summon for a particular element is a little rough. Eat some worms! Alright, buddy.
Hungry.
That sure is a line of text in this game.
He a hungry boy.
Clearly. I'm gonna take that instead.
How much health does this guy have? Jeez.
A lot. In the speedrun, this guy is considered the big wall of the early game fights.
Got it.
Sounds like that's enough HP for me to get a donation in here.
Oh yeah.
So we have $10 from Windbliss saying, "Ah, Sid, my boy, you are late. There's something I always meant to tell you, yet the time never seemed right. It concerns your airship's warranty." Oh, whoops, wrong game. Cat Dragon is not sorry.
You know, fair.
Wow.
I respect it.
So, like, I think if I were to make a change to this randomizer, I think the big change I would make would be to add a flag that guarantees that all of the level 1 summons are vanilla, so you can cycle through things and get a little bit of extra damage in there, but you still have to play around the weird big summons.
Paralysis. It works as good as it seems to work in TFF1.
Ooh, 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 ooh. That's not good. Well, at least she's unstunned. We are going to use an herb here. Oh boy, worms! Can't believe your boy's eating worms. I mean, I can. I think we can flash bolt here and just pump out damage. And it doesn't help, air quotes on help, air quotes on doesn't, that we have the enemy hit point shuffle on. So he might be plus or minus 20% off vanilla hit points.
So he could be even healthier, like silly healthy.
Correct. Or he could just die.
Let's go!
I mean, we got there. Wasn't super scary from a damage output point of view, but God, that was a long fight.
Listen to those drums, though.
Right.
Just pure banger.
But I guess there's also the flag there for nerfing summon damage output.
Yeah, we just make them not hit as hard.
Yeah, there's a gentle nerf, there's a hard nerf, and then there's summons no longer do damage. As your flags for summon damage alterations.
Ah, so what you're saying is it's nerf or nothing.
Don't we know it?
Please ban me. I've earned it at this point.
Look. I'm gonna slip to the restroom real quick, because I gotta go. But, we'll let this cutscene plan out. And Debbie, you can think about your actions and choices.
Can think about my actions. Great.
I mean, in the meantime, we can also think about our donation incentives that are going on here. So as we currently stand, I'm just going to refresh here to make sure nothing new's added. So we have 2 active incentives for Chrono Trigger. We have the Gear and Item Shuffle, which is $25 through. We still have $75 to go to hit that $100 incentive. The Tech Damage Shuffle is at $5 so far, so another $95 will unlock that as well. And then as for our Worlds Collide for Final Fantasy VI, we have $5 currently in the running to save Sid. So for those feeling a little bit of murder, you're going to need at least $6 to get that moving. And then for the opera scene, we are still at $0 worth of that $200 incentive. Plenty of time for Worlds Collide, but if you guys are looking to see either the Chrono Trigger incentives done, we've got, let me go to my schedule here. We'll say another 2 hours and change almost. So if you want to see either of those, get those donations in.
All right, we are back. We are so back.
Look at that perfect timing.
Now we're back downstairs. We did it. We finished
Yep.
Mercury Lighthouse forever.
Yep.
We never have
And
to come
so-
back here.
And since we have the bottle, we never have to come back here.
Let's go. Let's go somewhere else.
Let's go back to town.
That's somewhere else.
Do some shopping.
I love shopping.
As we can see, items have various passives on them.
I love item passives.
Upgrade our armor a little bit. Space 56. Space 60. Interesting. Ivan could use a little more armor. But he can't equip anything. Got it. Alright, and I should sell. Excuse me. Cool. Let's keep on keeping on. So now I get to play around with a new spell. Because Retreat now works to teleport you back to any town you've ever been to. This was a thing they introduced in Golden Sun 2 that got backported here into the randomizer. And you're a tree. So now we're gonna head up this way. And do more puzzles!
Puzzles mentioned!
Woo! How do I do the puzzle? Right, I go that way. You think I know this one because you have to do it in the speed run.
Lamau.
Look.
What?
Just look.
At you gladly.
Mer. But you're pretty.
Girlfriend destroyed in single combat, let's go!
Frick. I'm not owned, you're owned! I do love the puzzles in Golden Sun. It would be interesting if the randomizer was able to, like, randomize the puzzles a little bit too, but they're so baked into the level geometry that that sounds like an absolute nightmare to write as code.
Code mentioned! I am a little punchy right now. I've reached punchiness.
Punchy mention! Wait.
Wait.
There's an item box over there. I forget what's in it. But yeah, I'm kind of just going through this one's, as it stands, is kind of relying a lot on that sort of vanilla knowledge as I approach it.
Yeah.
Which... Right, I need to roll those down again! Frick, I know how to do puzzles! which does make for kind of an interesting gameplay experience where, you know, I have to remember things like puzzle solutions in order to do well with the rando. But yeah, Love, do you have, like, any tips or thoughts or suggestions for, like, people who might look at this and be like, hey, you know, I've got some coding chops, I know how assembly works, I want to make a randomizer, but how do I make a good one?
Am I first to ask about that? Wait, is it really me? Am I the person that you ask about how to make a good randomizer? What the hell? I'm feeling called out right now.
Well,
my first,
obviously, your opinions represent, you know, your opinions, but I'm curious what your thoughts are on that front.
one don't. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's a funny. I'm making a funny ha joke. Man, making a good randomizer is hard. Like,
Mhm.
like the big thing is just, you know, work on it bit by bit, right? Piece by piece. I mean, I was setting it up so well, Aaron Laurie. You understand that I'm taking the time to set up a joke. I'm gonna make the joke. But like the idea is just like figure out what makes the game interesting, right? Why why is it that you want to sit around and say, why do I want to play Zelda 2 over and over and over again, right? Or whatever game, pick your favorite game of all time, right? Why do I, said video game person, want to play this game over and over and over again? And then once you decide why you want to play this game over and over and over again, right? What makes that game sing to you? And then build around that.
You know, like, for example, because we gotta have examples, the thing that's interesting to me about Final Fantasy I NES is that tension between exploration and uh, potential failure. Like, going into a dungeon, diving as deep as I can, getting loot before going out, and understanding the tools I have in order to, you know, sort of explore the space of a dungeon, even if I already know the layout of the dungeon or what dungeons I'm seeing. It still has some interest, some intrigue, some depth to it. With Zelda 1, for me, the real thing that sings to me is exploration. You know, going in, not knowing what's where to go, what I'm going to need to get through things, and trying to piece together the puzzle of how the game wants me to explore the space and the dungeons. And I'm sure you've got plenty of other examples, Love.
I mean, like, I think the big thing I always think about is just like that concept of what's fun is always a big part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What makes me give a crap, right? Like, I don't. It's like, why is Worlds Collide actually good when at first my brain was like, oh yeah, Worlds Collide, this is gonna be terrible. I was wrong. Like, I was wrong about that, everybody. Please don't take this one out on me.
So that's an interesting point, though. Do you know what initially had you hesitate on Worlds Collide?
Lol, it's another open world game. We don't need those.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a thing we'd seen before, right?
And then what about the game turned you around on it?
I mean, it feels like Final Fantasy VI, like, and that's super important, right? Like, like there's little else to be said other than it feels like a good Final Fantasy experience, and that's important and hard to come by, right? Like, because that's what you want, right? You want a good final, like, it makes you want to play the game, right? It makes you want to play Final Fantasy VI more because it feels like you're playing Final Fantasy VI. Is Celis? No, I will end you, Aaron Lore. I will wander over and find you.
I mean,
this house is at least 2-1 Team Terra. Like, let's be real for a minute.
I mean, let's face it. Celis is pretty great, by which I mean my wife's cat.
Celis does get a lot of cool scenes, like.
Martian mention!
Martian is in the time break.
Attack. You flash bolt. We'll just go ahead and hit you with fever. That was easy.
That was free, actually. What the heck?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you get to a good spot on your power curve.
Enjoy your victory fanfare, I guess.
Yep. And now enjoy the puzzle of where to... Which one's Heat Mirage again?
No.
Okay, it is another Axe Unleash. And it can cause... status effects. Okay. I mean, that's a very good team to be on, Neon. Not gonna lie. The question is, did you want to be Celis or Terra when you were young?
I mean, when I was young, come on now.
Yeah, I also did not play FF6 when I was young.
Oh no, I still want to be Terra, and I'm not young anymore.
True.
When I was young, come on now. Give a girl a little bit of credit here.
I mean, you know, I don't need to give you credit. Your taste speaks for itself.
I have a tiny Terra figurine on my desk, and I have Terra art next to my bed, and
I dyed my hair green for a while because, you know, reasons. Because reasons. I will let y'all figure out what those reasons were. Should not be hard.
Match your pronouns.
That too.
Look, I know it's good.
Is it pronouns? I love pronouns.
Hmm. Got it. Should have seen that one coming. But hey, you know, a little bit more farming. And we'll turn a Void back on. Try and build up a little bit more of an MP bank. But yeah, one of the interesting tensions I find in RPG rando design is, like, how do you handle encounters? Because, you know, like, you have that space between FF1 and FF4 of full encounters to just encounters are always off. And, like, what does that mean for your game? How does that affect the experience of play? And I'm gonna go again. Hey, Love, what are your thoughts on the matter? Because I like your thoughts about randomizer design, and since, you know, like, I'm just kind of feeling this out, kind of taking my time and thinking about it, you've got plenty of time to say really smart and wonderful words.
Wait, really smart words to hold on a second here. Jeez. There's a lot of pressure, dear. Like, God, it's like I know what I'm talking about. I hate this.
I love you.
Love you too.
But yeah, no pressure.
No pressure, she says.
I do say.
What were we talking about again?
Just like the usage of encounters in randomizer design.
Very variable. It does kind of greatly depend upon, like, what exists, right? Like, I think that's the big thing, is just that, like, it's just so highly variable. It's like, there's a lot of things that are interesting in different randomizers, it's just a matter of do you get there or not, right?
I guess the sort of question is just like, you know, like, to me, randomizers provide that sort of resource management, because, like, if you can just run through a game and only fight bosses, then that takes a lot of pressure off your resource management outside of doing weird, you know, things like FF4's Moon, where you have a whole bunch of bosses, not a lot of ways of restoring things without spending a lot of time backtracking. And so you kind of need to have your gear ready, but, you know, if you have a full heal and enough, you know, tools to get through the bosses, that doesn't really become an issue. Whereas with FF1, you know, your potion management is huge throughout that game.
Yeah, it's so dependent upon the game, right? Like, because, you know, in Final Fantasy 1, because of how kind of the default game is you shuffle up your encounters, right? That such that they all do different, right? That they're all different and they all do different things.
Yeah, then you have things like action randomizers, your Z1, your Z3, and like, you know, the enemy shuffle in Z3 feels so different from enemy shuffle in Z1, where, you know, enemy shuffle in Z1 is kind of like it feels like a more standard experience than it does in Z3, just because of how different the games are. Like, randomizer design is really interesting and deep, and just the way that you can mix things up has such an impact on how that game feels overall.
Yeah, it plays very differently,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of neat.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I've run you out of interesting things to say at this point.
I'm like trying to like keep talking, and it's just like, man, I got nothing.
Yeah, Neon has the point of a lot of it comes down to how interesting random encounters are in vanilla, and I do have to agree with them on that. Like, Z3's combat definitely has your random trash fights more often than not being more on the side of filler than,
Yeah.
like,
Actually intriguing.
whereas Z1 is designed around, like, the difficulty of combat in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's why like when I run like when I run the randomizer with enemy health at 1, it's interesting, but you know, it's
A very different game.
it is very much not exactly the Z1 experience.
Yeah.
That's okay. But it's also very not the Z1 experience. Z1 are the only Riz robes. Can somebody ban Aaron Lore from like ever saying words again?
Hey now, hey now.
Nope. I'm asking as a friend of the stream.
Yeah, like, I'll take Z1 with only Dark Nuts over that.
They're dark and they're nutty, and I hate all of them.
Yeah, Ariana chimes in with, I designed randomizers for Phantasy Star 2 and 4. If I took out randomizers in 2, the game would be too short, so I couldn't touch that. With 4, it's such a different environment, being that encounterless is entirely possible due to the number of boss fights available.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, one of the things I've been trying to think about a little bit these days is what makes a good game to be randomized. Because I feel like some games play well into, you know, traditional randomizer formulas better than others.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Mimic. Okay. Hi, Mimic.
Mimic friend!
Box friend!
Mimic mentioned!
Wait.
What?
Just Mimic mention. Wait. Why do we mention the Mimic?
You know why.
Have to ask, randomizers that restore content that was changed, removed, censored for release somewhere away in the original. How do you feel about that? On average,
Amazing.
positive.
Amazing. Generally speaking, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Winning. Just pure victory.
I believe the answer is gas, 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 gas.
we gonna step on the gas?
Tonight.
I love you.
At the risk of adding more names to the ban list, what would you think, Demi, about a Beyond to Beyond randomizer?
Sorry, say that again? I didn't quite...
What was it, Beyond to Beyond, the one we were talking about earlier?
I think that we should randomize good games.
Counterpoint. DK64 has become very popular. As a randomizer game.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
The DK64?
So he's finally here, performing for you. If you know the words, you can join in too.
I don't know if I want to join in too.
Put your hands together if you want to clap.
I feel like I'm being baited into the donkey rap here.
DK. Donkey Kong. DK. Donkey Kong is here. Wait. Oh, right. I got the victory for the Mimic is just goes directly into my inventory. Got it. How much do we need to make Devery join in too? How much does chat need to donate to make you do the DK64 rap monster? I love you. I hope you know that.
I know that, but also rumbling noises.
Grumbling noises, man, chat. Wait. Well, I love Debbie more if you do the Donkey Kong rap. I'll smile at you and probably kiss you a lot, but I don't think it'll affect how much I love you.
See?
The heck is a red key? Oh god, that's a Crossbow Island key. Eey. That's a thing to pick up. Would it cause me to Would it cause me to respect you more? Nah. I already respect you infinitely, as is. I mean, Chad, I could start talking about how much I love Debbie.
You could. Be here a minute.
I mean, we've got another 20 minutes. But yeah, I'm also not sure, like, how long this game is designed to be. If that makes sense. Because, like, this game is going for a bit, but I'm not sure if this is, like, intentional design, or if it's just I'm getting unlucky with, you know, how I'm doing things and going slowly because I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, I don't really have a good sense for how long this randomizer is supposed to take. And how much I'm supposed to be, like, skipping things versus doing these full clears for Jin that I'm doing. Because let's face it, I want all my summons. Summons seem important in a game like this. And also with the speedrun just having such a powerful use of the retreat glitch, and like not having a good sense of whether or not I want to be retreat glitching all over the place, this also becomes a very interesting type of experience. where I'm still trying to feel out, okay, am I even doing this right? Randomizers that optionally patch glitches. Depends on the glitch, depends on, how, like, I think it's good to have the option to patch glitches, especially if those glitches are centralizing. Like, or if the glitch is something that, a hypothetical tournament organizer would want to disallow. Like, if it is a glitch that you do not want to have in the game because of how it affects the gameplay, patching it out is a good thing. At least that's my opinion. I'll let Debbie share thoughts if you have any.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like, patch stuff out. Like, the game has to be fun, right? Like, randomizer, like, competition or not, right? Like, yeah, like some communities are super big on glitches, and some are just like the day I did commentary on a very famous Final Fantasy IV free enterprise race that led to a bunch of glitches getting patched. Like, it really does depend upon the spirit of it and how easy it is to learn the glitches, right? Because, like, yeah, like, a lot of, like playing D3R with no major glitches is great, because a lot of the glitches are super easy to learn, and they add a lot of interesting decisions to the gameplay, because obviously, going out of logic is interesting in a way. But like, a glitch that is exceedingly technical and like is only known by like the deepest of vanilla runners is not necessary and shouldn't be there, because that's not fun or cool or good in any way. Oh god, that was a great race. I was in Philadelphia doing commentary for that race on my laptop. I had just gotten a bunch of Korean barbecue. It ruled. But
Oh.
like, the whole idea being that glitches can be interesting if it's a thing like the dupe glitch in FF4, right? It's an interesting glitch. It added something really interesting in vanilla speedrun or just vanilla playthroughs. I know as a kid I did it, right? Like, I knew about the dupe glitch when I was a kid. But yeah, and then like the whole idea being that that it added a lot to the game, but also it made made seeds really homogenous. So there's the option to patch it, and giving people the option to turn on or off glitches is neat too, because some glitches are neat depending on the flags, and then they're really overwhelming when not. So you've got all these options, and it's neat. And like, I prefer that glitches be patched. Like, I want to play the game as vanilla as possible, but some glitches make the games more interesting, and that's cool too. And
Yeah.
you should, when the opportunity arises, right, try it out and see if it makes the game more interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, for instance of a glitch that is genuinely, commonly accepted in the randomizer community is like Z1R screen wrapping.
Screen wrapping, yeah, which is not hard to learn. It's a little technical, but like, I learned it. But like,
Yeah.
every vanilla speedrunner knows how to do it, because like, you'll see people who are first learning 3 first, like, actually reset a bunch. Like, once they've gotten past like the I'm learning 3 first, it's like, all right, I want to actually post a decent time on 3 first. You'll see them resetting a lot early on when they're not hitting screen scrolls. And I've known runners who will like start runs for like 10 or 15 minutes. If they're not hitting the screen scrolls, they'll just stop for the day, and I don't blame them.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, speaking of making the games better, we still got some open incentives for our upcoming runs. We still have both the gear and item shuffle and the tech damage shuffle for Chrono Trigger Jets of Time. We still need $75 more to get the gear and item shuffler up. We need $95 more to get that tech damage shuffle up. Not to mention, we also have Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. We have a $200 incentive still to go to have the opera scene unlocked, and the bid war for saving or killing Sid is still at $5, with save being in the lead. So get all those donations in. Keep in mind too, all these donations are going towards the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and every dollar counts. So please help us support a fantastic cause here.
Yeah, and like, I appreciate having them as flags. Like, I think having flags for different modes of play, different styles of play, different sets of players can be interesting. Okay. Interesting. Is Orb of Force not required to get through logically? Interesting. Or does that give me access to? I don't know. We're just gonna keep going then. Yeah, and one of the other things that I really like about key item randomizers broadly is just the way that you need to think about logic. Yeah, like...
Fun glitches. Good, interesting glitches that make the game more interesting. Not giving you your stats sucks.
Yeah, or like in Free Enterprise, the life glitch, where you can, you know, basically the big thing it does is saves you time on particular grinds.
I love grinding.
Mm-hmm.
Said no, never. God, it's so hard. I'm running out of focus, love. How much time do we have left?
Like, 10 minutes.
Okay, good. I can stay focused for 10 more. You got an apple.
Yeah.
Is it delicious?
I mean, it's keeping the doctors away. So, gotta go.
Goodbye to Leggy. Woo!
Rude! And also, like, there's reasons you see in, like, rando communities, you know, like, people not doing credits warps, because, that just defeats the purpose of playing it as a randomizer if you're just going to, you know...
Warp to the end.
Yeah. Like, you see people being like, okay, we need to think about how logic goes. You know, like, if it stops letting you test the skills that the randomizer wants to be testing, it becomes an issue. IMO. Also, one of the flags I turned on was changing the amount of Jin required to use a summon from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1, 2, 4, 6, which I also think helps nerf summoning a bunch. Let this flesh know. Unleashes Guardian. Got all these ability names that I don't recognize.
All these abilities I've never seen before. They're on a speed. I mean,
It... is a defense boost. Interesting. Oh, right. I need to pull the map back up. But yeah, I hope this has been kind of just an enjoyable exploration of a randomizer that, you know, none of us have really looked at before.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Like, it's definitely a neat little game, and I definitely want to play this rando more. But, you know, pulling together all the pieces, because one of the other really interesting things about randomizers for me is, like, if you play things casually or speedrun things, you don't go to a lot of places that you do in randos. Like, for instance, just the sheer number of chests that people open in Z3R that if you weren't playing rando, you might not even know about, even if you were just running around casually. Like, and the number of, like, weird edge case interactions that people discover because those are the only tools they really have for a particular rando seed. It's really neat the way that randomizers help recontextualize and, in a lot of ways, reinvigorate games that you may have played 100 times. But hey, love?
Yeah?
Why don't we bring things home with the two best things in this game that both start with the letter B?
Stab the Sword of Justice starts with S, and is not in this game.
Well, yeah, we're talking about in this game.
Butt Rock?
And a boss fight.
If Stab the Sword of Justice hits, I swear I'm gonna quit.
Yeah, Archipelago is great. I love Archipelago just fundamentally.
This is the Sakuraba boss fight theme, absolutely.
How rocked is your butt feeling?
Like 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it doesn't go... It could go harder.
It could go a lot harder.
I mean, if so, looks like looking at the GitHub for Golden Sun Rando, there was one person who initially wrote a Golden Sun Rando and then set it down for, I honestly do not know the reasons. I don't know that person's personal life.
That size, ow.
Hey.
Okay. Killer Ape's got an instant kill.
Oof, ouch, my bones!
What bones? They're all shattered.
Oof, ouch, my shattered bones.
My non-existent bones.
My no longer existent bones, thank you very much. And someone else re-released it with some additional features, but has not touched the code in over a year. Which is unfortunate, because this game is great.
It's critical strike time.
Let's go.
You
Question
sure did.
mark?
You sure went. You went to hell.
Yep. I sure did get sent directly to hell.
You did get Shadow Realm.
Luckily, healer adjusts,
Didn't get crit that time.
which helps a lot.
I'm a fan of not getting crit.
Somehow. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out while Debbie and I chatted about randomizers.
Shoot the breeze.
Yeah. You can find us both on our Twitch channels, me slightly more frequently, but also definitely hang out here more. If you have the means and want to support a great cause, Nami is in fact a great cause, and you should throw money at it. But obviously, you know, do not put yourself in danger of, you know, needing money in this capitalist hellscape we all know and hate. As previously mentioned, we have Time Spinner coming up next. So be sure to stay here and check that out, because Time Spinner is a wonderful game. But with that, I'm gonna fade into the background until Debbie and I break her brain even further.
Wait, how are you gonna break my brain even further?
Oh, we'll see what people donate for. Don't worry about it.
Oh no. Oh no, chat's gonna make me suffer. Chat, I don't want to play Z3R, I promise. I also don't want to play FF4. I haven't played FF4